to Ho 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 Corner. Yes, that's right. It's the festive edition of Who Corner to Corner podcast in the now traditional, because I said so, Ho 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 rebranding. So I'm Geoff. I was going to try and come up with a Christmas pun there, but I can't. And I'm with Paul.
Hi.
Paul.
You've given this lots of thought, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Lots, right there.
Well, let's be honest. Our original plans for tonight's recording fell through at the last minute.
They did, sadly, but we will get back to that very, very soon, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing, amazing.
It's going to be a good one. So tonight, what we're going to do is do an episode commentary for the Snowmen, which is an episode starring Clara.
Starring Clara. It's actually starring Jenna Coleman, but we'll go with Clara. Clara's fine.
Well, they're one and the same, and it's got the Doctor in it somewhere.
Clara, I'm going to put love hearts around you because they are literally just radiating from you right now. For anybody who didn't know, Geoff is in love with Clara. Always has been, always will be. Yeah. You're mad on her, you are.
Oh, she's wonderful. So we're going to have a look at that, and then at the end of the episode, of our episode, we're going to run a little preview trailer for our forthcoming Christmas Day audio drama, which is a 13th Doctor Christmas adventure.
Hang on for that. That's very special. Oh, yes.
Yes. So by the time this goes out on Sunday, you'll...
is this going out on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, I guess so, because that's Sunday, isn't it?
That is Sunday, yeah.
And we'll...
should have worn my elf hat. We should have worn Santa hats. Why don't we have Santa hats, Geoff?
Because we were not organised for this.
So next time, dear listeners, we will have Santa hats. I promise you. We'll do Santa hats and elf ears, because, why not? That's what we'll do.
We will do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So... we're going to run a little a preview of our Christmas Day adventure. The trailer will be going out online as well, but it's going to be here in case you miss it. So hopefully you'll look out for that tomorrow. So, shall we crack on with this episode?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, ready? On 3. So if you're going to watch at home, you can fire up your Blu-ray DVD streaming copy of the episode and watch along and listen to us as we chat over the top of it. I was going to use a rude word there, but I decided not to.
This is going so well.
Yeah. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, hang on. Have I got a TV license? Yes, I do. Ready? 1.
Oh, wait. You're starting again. I'm already rolling.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh,
right.
I got to do a TV license thing. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I don't do 3. Just
oh, there you go. It's started. Right, I've got snowflakes coming.
Snowflakes.
Coming
CGI snowflakes? I suspect they probably are.
Yeah. They tried to...
try to get a close-up on a real one. Did you see that there? That England, whatever that date was, it was painted in the snow. Like you know when people say, "Yeah, you can write your name in the snow." Can you write England 1852 in the snow or whatever it was?
Was it yellow?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't eat yellow snow.
No, exactly. That's a bad thing, kids. Tip. Don't do that.
And in fact, do you remember we talked with Miranda Raisin about yellow snow and other things hiding in snow?
Just to say, dear listeners, I wasn't the one who took it there. It was Miranda.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it came straight from her. And if you don't know Miranda Raisin, she plays Mrs. Constance Clark on Big Finish Audios, and she was Tallulah in Daleks in Manhattan, and she's done lots of other TV and film work as well.
Spooks as well. Wonderful. That's a good one. That's my favourite.
Spooks for quite a long time. Yeah. So when we were trying to find this episode to watch, we both had a bit of trouble finding it. Didn't we?
I'd forgot it was mid-season.
Yeah, but it's sort of. Because it came on at Christmas, didn't it?
This is when they sort of split the season into 2, didn't they? So they bifurcated or bi-regenerated the season. There we had two divided by Christmas, 2 halves divided by Christmas.
Not sure why that that happened. There was a big.
I can't remember. There was a thing about it.
There? Yeah. I think there may have been something to do with.
I can't remember now.
Or
can't remember.
Been a reason.
I can't remember now.
That location there, where Richard E. Grant is walking, is
the Ninth Doctor himself.
Yep, on the iPlayer thing. What's it called? Scream of the Shulker.
Scream of the Shulker. And that's Gandalf's voice, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, or is he he's Magneto, isn't he? Yeah.
Who?
In X-Men.
Oh yeah, I don't watch that.
Yeah. The interior of that building was the I believe Corn Exchange in Cardiff, and I've filmed in there a few times. When I was doing music competition filming, it looks quite different when you've got a giant snow globe in the middle and it's lit like that. That's quite a. I remember taking a walk on the halls on the upper floor of that building.
Did you really?
It's quite spooky actually, because there's all these offices and rooms and stuff. There's nobody in any of them, it was a little bit eerie. So there she is. There's Jenna.
Honestly,
there's her little theme playing. So I
hate that theme. I really don't like it. It's so twee.
It's very fairy tale, and I think that works really nicely.
I think it worked all right at the time, but now every time I hear it, it probably has the opposite reaction of what was intended. Right. I'm just being a curmudgeon. I'm being Scrooge.
You're
in
as
this.
miserable as the Doctor.
I'm afraid I am. Yeah, look at him. He's not taking any prisoners now, is he? He's had a bad time. He's lost Amy and Rory to the Angels, and he's never going to see them again. And he's wondering what the point of it all is. But he still can't resist the mystery.
No. So I like all editions of Clara, and I.
You get a few editions in here, don't we?
You do, yeah, and I'm longing for one day, Big Finish, to get Jenna in and do Clara Echoes or something, which is different Claras across different times, and the inevitable multi-Doctor.
I mean, it's wide open there, isn't it?
It's wide open there, yeah. Hopefully they don't shoehorn in Jackie Tyler into one, but
or River Song probably do that, and David Tennant while they're at it. Why not just shove him in? We've been snarky today, aren't we, Geoff? We've been snarky. It's been a long day, listeners. Actually, do you know, I like Clara here. What was she sort of? I mean, she's a barmaid here, isn't she? She works in a pub.
Yeah,
and then she's a governess as well.
Yeah, that's the day job, isn't it? Yeah, and I do like this version of her a lot. And there's always a sort of part of me that wishes that we'd stuck with this one.
Likewise.
And brought her into the, all the other adventures and everything.
She's got great boots. I love her boots.
Yeah, she looks really cool. It's the red dress is similar to the Oswin one from the Dalek episode. But it's a bit like, became RTD was supposedly going to do Penny for Series 4 before it became Catherine Tate. She was going to be an older companion.
Oh, okay.
From a different time period. Do thinking about that, which is completely off topic with this.
Hi.
But imagine how different things would have been if they'd gone with Penny and then brought back Catherine Tate.
Yeah, maybe. I love these titles. Are we watching titles now? Cool. Are we on the titles?
I am watching titles.
I'm on the titles. I love it. Was this the first time we'd seen these ones, or had they been in the rest of the series? I can't even remember.
This is when there's his face in the title.
Yeah, there we go. The return of the Doctor's face. Brilliant.
And each Doctor Who title has a different kind of texture to it.
Yeah. I don't know. Does it in this one? I thought that was in the previous lot, wasn't it, with the dinosaurs and. Yeah. So the first half of this season, which is the dinosaur story, isn't it? And also Town Called Mercy, The Power of Three, Asylum of the Daleks, The Angels. Each one of those has a different texture on the Doctor Who, doesn't it? Yeah. So the dinosaurs one is like a reptilian skin, and the Asylum of the Daleks is the Dalek bubbles and what have you. So this was actually then the first time we'd seen those titles, and I do like them. I still like them. I thought they were really good.
Yeah,
really
nice
good.
Colourful,
yeah. It's kind of like the 80s Starfield, the Sid Sutton titles. It's a bit like those in a way.
Yeah, there's a bit there with the way the font appear. The names appear.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
GF, look at that. Or GI, isn't it? It's just a very stylish F, a stylish I.
Great intelligence.
Great intelligence. How brilliant was it to have the great intelligence back in Doctor Who? I loved that idea. As soon as it kind of dawned on me, and it's not like immediately thrown at you. It's not made really obvious. It kind of creeps in subtly, in these little ways, like GI, and she's good. On
the bottles in the coach.
That's it.
The beginning bit.
That's it, exactly. And of course, the great intelligence becomes the big bad throughout the rest of this season, don't they? Now this is
Richard E. Grant.
He's really good. Yeah, I
was just thinking his Loki role where he was like classic looking Loki.
Classic Loki in his spandex,
and the horns. He was clearly having a great time.
He loves all that stuff. Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, Jenny and Vastra.
Yeah, was this the first time we'd seen Jenny? Actually, or had she been in it before? Can't remember now. I don't think she had actually.
Quickly.
And actually, Madame Vastra had been in it previously. Was this the first time we'd seen the Paternoster Gang? Because we've had Silurians before, haven't we?
Yeah, they were in
series 5.
5?
Yeah.
Assisting the 11th Doctor. Just looking on TARDIS Wikipedia thingy. TARDISpedia.
You mean you can't remember? No, I think it was.
No.
I think this was the first time we'd seen these guys. And we were quite used to Silurians being a thing. And it's a great image. I love the idea of Madame Vastra kind of, beveiled, sort of non-human, but actually very human, right? But not human, reptilian, like almost like a kind of a sideshow circus kind of thing from the age, like a sort of freak show sort of thing. The reptile lady, you can imagine, come see the reptile lady and the living potato, that kind of thing. And yet they're accepted, they're kind of accepted. So it's they just kind of fit right in there in Victorian England, London, Christmas time. A grenade.
The first appearance was A Good Man Goes to War. Then the Snowmen, Crimson.
Well done. Well done. There you go. That's it. I knew there was one I have to forget about. So sorry, what did you ask? What do I think of these guys?
Yeah.
What do you think of them? Are you a fan?
Sort of. Yeah. I do like them. I particularly like Strax. I quite like the sort of spinning the Sontaran thing on its head, and he's sort of a bit silly and goofy, and but still kind of war obsessed, but in a really kind of comical way. I think it might have been nice to see a bit more of them. I sort of always remember feeling like, they just turned up in A Good Man Goes to War, and the Doctor's had these friends for a long time. And I suppose I felt like, I'd like to have seen the meeting, how that all started. But it's not really a big deal. It's a shame it's a shame we didn't see more of them. I think they were really good with Capaldi's Doctor, so it was a shame that sort of fizzled out a bit there.
Oh yeah, they came out there, didn't they? When it was in Deep Breath.
Yeah, they were in Deep Breath. Yeah. Yes, we talked to Dan Starkey about this scene, didn't we? Because of the memory worm stuff.
The memory worm.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
Yeah, it is good, yeah.
I can't help laughing at it. It's like I hate it, but I still find it funny. I just can't stop laughing. It is good.
Look, snowing. He plays it so brilliantly dopey.
Yeah. Do you want me to get the memory worm?
Smith's face is brilliant there.
Dear. Yeah,
and Clara laughing in the back.
That sort of grumpy face that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do miss the 11th Doctor. He's great. Matt Smith, fantastic. Just thinking, actually, we haven't looked at 11th Doctor story for a while, have we? So it's a good job doing this one.
We did an essential 11th Doctor episode, which we
did.
really need to do some more of those, actually, because we looked at some essential podcast episodes where we both picked 5 favourite episodes for a Doctor or enemy that we think are not necessarily like totally essential for their overall story or whatever, but because we think they're just good episodes and kind of sum up the Doctor well.
For basically whatever reasons we decided we were going to pick them. So yeah,
it's quite arbitrary. We probably need to do a 12th Doctor one for that, don't we? So we should get on that because they've done quite well for us, haven't they? Actually. What was I going to say? Do you ever look back at an episode like this now? So this one came out in 2012, so it's
oh my goodness,
11 years
it's 11
old
years
now.
old.
And I remember sitting down and watching it, and it still feels sort of, even though I've seen this, I don't know, 4 or 5 times over the years, it's still fresh and, you know. They just get soaked there. You know, I still really. But
that's the great thing about Doctor Who. Yeah, Doctor Who's always like that for me anyway. You know, I mean, I've seen all of them like so many times.
Yeah,
I could probably quote most of them. You know, that's why it's always nice to have new Doctor Who coming out, because it's like a Doctor Who story that I don't know, and yet I always enjoy watching them again, because that's what we do. I think as fans, you know, we do go back and watch all of these old episodes and enjoy them. As much as we did the first time round, or more so in some cases, because we're more familiar with the story, so we can just sit back and enjoy it instead of trying to pick it apart.
Yeah, it's sort of
it's a good one. Yeah, but it's interesting. It's funny because if this is 11 years old, this is like me in 1983 when I started being a fan, watching a Pertwee episode.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to sort of try and say. Does it feel like, when you're watching him, obviously we've had 1, 2, 3, nearly 4 Doctors past Matt Smith, but he still sort of feels quite. He feels old, as you know, his appearances as the Doctor, but also not that old at the same time, and it's kind of weird.
He's got that old young face and body language.
No, not even that. I mean, he does, but like, he still feels quite recent, even though he's actually. Not
okay.
You know
what you mean. Yeah.
And watching this now, it sort of feels like, it's a bit like you were saying, but you know, you watching Pertwee stuff when you were younger, it's sort of, it feels weirdly sort of, you know, it literally from a different era, you know, it's quite hard. I can't really articulate.
I do like the music, actually. I like this music. This is really fairy tale stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, this is probably one of the episodes where Moffat most went in for that sort of stuff. I think, like, in a really kind of literal visual way. You know, Series 5 was sort of always said to be quite fairy tale, but I think in this, you know, you've got, you know, the TARDIS on the clouds here and this magic ladder and stuff, and that's really kind of
it's wonderful. Yeah,
the sort of thing you'd see in that
staircase that she's coming up to now is just brilliant.
And
that's a nice shot, you know, sort of high up in the clouds. No one can see her. She's beyond the barrier, the invisible barrier, or a barrier of invisibility, or whatever it is. It is. Do you know? It's kind of like it's a very storybook version of London, 19th century London, isn't it? You know, it is that sort of Christmas Carol, Charles Dickensy trope almost, and yet. You know, like when we had what was it? What was the other Christmas episode? The Next Doctor, where we had a bit more steam. We had a big giant steampunk Cyberman. Yeah, I could imagine that would happen in this same London. And that staircase, it's ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
the steampunk stuff is probably happening across town right now with 10 doing it. This has got one of the. Undoubtedly best TARDIS interior intros coming up on here.
The review,
fantastic.
Of course, it's the new console room, isn't it?
Yeah. All this bit here is showing off Clara, for all intents and purposes, Clara's curiosity and like there she sort of taps her foot out and then just goes for it, kind of. Know, it became her undoing in the end.
There is an adventurous spirit to her, isn't she?
Yeah. The bravery and that sort of curiosity and adventurous stuff. This is great. I love this.
And she's throwing some great shapes with that dress as well, so as it sort of twirls around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very stylistic. It's very stylish.
Yeah. I'm pleased to see Matt Smith doing well these days after he did Doctor Who. It was a long time before he kind of did anything big with House of Dragon. Oh, it's later, the reveal, isn't it? It's not this bit.
She comes back, doesn't she?
Yeah.
He was teasing us, Mr. Moffat. We thought she was going to go in there at that point. I tell you what, I don't know what you think, mate, but usually when it snows, I'm absolutely freezing.
Really? I
like really, really cold. The snow is cold.
I need to be
and like people are out there all kind of exposed and
if I know
that's where we see a different side to Clara, isn't it?
I'm a little bit behind you. Mine just froze. Here we go. She's in bed now.
Oh, she's just woken up.
Yeah, I'm only a couple of seconds out, I think. Yeah, she's remembering and she's excited to go and investigate further. I wonder if these are all sets that they've built, because it looks really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks alright actually. Yeah.
This is where we discover the other job, isn't it?
That's it. Off with the clothes.
And she's got it in a doctor's bag. Matt's gone on to do well for himself, and so's Jenna. Really, she's done some really good stuff.
They've both done pretty well, haven't they? No, I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, Wilderness is really good. She, I won't spoil it all, but she's very good in it. And The Cry was really good. The one with the baby is accidentally killed, and she is superb.
Yeah, that sounds traumatic. Yeah, I can't watch that sort of stuff.
Tough one, but
it's not my cup of tea. Yeah, I wouldn't watch that.
It sort of becomes a mystery of what happened, who did it, and blah blah blah. She's very good in it.
Yeah.
She's
a governess now here, isn't she?
Yeah, which is.
Sorry, what are you going to say?
Well, I think one of the things that attracts people to doing Doctor Who is the ability to show, a range of kind of, emotions and styles and stuff. Because a bit like Jodie, Jenna's done a lot of quite heavily dramatic stuff after the show and before. But on this, I was just thinking it'd be really nice to see her do something a bit lighter and a bit more kind of, humorous perhaps. And she's she gets to do quite a lot of that in here. She's very good at it. But do you know what I mean? It's a show that really gets to kind of blend a lot of that different stuff together.
Yeah, I think it was the same with Christopher Eccleston, wasn't it? Because he was well known for being quite an intense, very serious, very darkly dramatic actor. And I remember being really surprised, thinking that he was going to be the Doctor. Yeah. And he brought that intensity to the role, but also filled it with so much light-hearted fun and enjoyment as well. It was. I think you're right. I think it is that kind of show that kind of role that gives actors of that caliber the chance to just maybe just let it out a little bit.
Loosen up a little bit.
Just be a little bit more childish at times.
That's one of the reasons.
There's no point being grown up if you can't be childish.
Yeah. Jodie said she took it on because she was always getting cast in the heavily dramatic, and this was the chance for her to do something bit more broader, as well as other reasons, for taking
Yeah.
it on. So here's a question: whenever you go to one of these kind of houses now, and they're always a bit run down and a bit sort of decrepit looking, why in a film or TV that's set, 100 years, 200 years ago, whatever, do they look just as decrepit and run down? Because it should have been brand new.
Because they probably were, though.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Well, no, but these houses aren't new. That's like 15th, 16th century or something.
Yes,
so it's probably about 300, 400 years old already, even there.
Yeah.
And probably wasn't upkept as well as you might think.
Yeah. But that's the problem with a lot of them, isn't it?
Probably.
They cannot afford the upkeep, which is why so many...
No, exactly.
National Trust places still have the families living in them.
That's why, it's only because like the National Trust sort of restore them to a kind of form of glory, and sort of polish them up a little bit more. But they in this day as well, the atmosphere is full of soot and smoke and dirt and filth. So the outside is probably quite nasty. But, this is fairy tale Dickens's type London, isn't it? A bit of Sherlock Holmes in there as well, I think.
Yes.
With the Paternoster Gang.
Yeah. I was in London recently. I saw Paternoster Lane, which I imagine
Oh, did you?
they were named off of, yeah.
Strax again. Do you know what? I always used to get annoyed that Centaurans were played for laughs, and I know they were kind of a slightly. I mean, they're Robert Holmes's satire of the army, so they were always meant to be quite dim, sort of single-minded, focused purely on war and fighting and chain of command and all that kind of stuff, and taken to an nth degree, but it's almost like they have one story where they're an absolute fearsome force to be reckoned with, and then a whole bunch of stories afterwards where they're just complete figures of fun and mirth and merriment. And I think this is one of those. I think we had the Time Warrior where their very first story where they were a bit of fun, but they were quite seriously antagonistic as well. They were a foe to be reckoned with. Then we had the Centauran experiment where they were really deadly, and then after that they just became more and more comedic. I think just more and more to be poked fun at, and it always used to annoy me because I always used to like the idea of the Centaurans when I was a kid. The whole idea of a clone army bred to fight a galactic war against an enemy that no one else has ever seen, I just thought was tremendously good. And the fact that they would send these scout groups and these these sort of project leaders and commanders to sort of analyse the populations, to test them to their limits and all that sort of stuff, and the fact they launched an offensive on Gallifrey, and I thought it was great. But whenever we actually saw them in the programme, they were just there for jokes, really, and it always used to annoy me. And I think until we got War of the Centaurans, I think that's the story that really broke the back of that. So it managed to kind of balance the sort of satirical part of the Centaurans with the brutality and single-mindedness of what they were actually after. Until we got them in the grocery shop, and they're after chocolate, of course. But it swings and roundabouts, I think, with the Centaurans. But I wish sometimes they'd just be a little bit more brutal, but that's a me thing. I mean, that's sure there's others there who really enjoy the comedy.
Yeah, I quite like it because it's fleshing them out a little bit, and making them a bit more 3D as a sort of baddie and as a character. It's a bit like I like when the Daleks do something.
The comedic element of it, you think?
Yeah. It's like when the Daleks do something that's, sort of out of character, like in Eve of the Daleks, when the Dalek is saying something to John Bishop, like, I do not have friends, or whatever, and he's really winding him up about it. And, when they were offering tea in the Churchill one, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
Victory of the Daleks.
That's it, yeah. I find it quite funny because it's sort of not what you expect from them, but
I remember that one actually, because that one reminded me of the Power of the Daleks, where they pretty much did that. So the Second Doctor's very first story, and it turned out they were there just to trick people into false sense of security whilst they secretly built their army in the background. And that was one of the darkest Dalek stories I think I've ever seen. So when it came to Victory of the Daleks and they did that, I was kind of expecting something similar, but then it just turned out to be a bit of a boys' own romp, which is, it is what it is. But I'm not a massive fan of that kind of story particularly. So I think I get it. I think it's like, it's good that we do see different facets of these villains, because they're not just one note, two-dimensional, sort of enemies for the Doctor to go up at. But I'm not a fan of it when it's done just for lols. When we're just writing a script and there's a really good joke to be told, so let's have the kids laugh at them. I get it. I know why they do it, and probably if I was 10 years old, I'd probably... Actually, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I hated that when I was 10 as well, to be honest. So I'm just a miserable bastard.
Yeah,
I like my villains to be villains. I don't want them to be funny. Well, I don't mind if they're funny. It's just if it's... I don't know. I'm sounding like a knob, aren't I? But if it's the right kind of funny, it's when the script jumps out at you, as if to say, right, I've done this because it's really funny, and I'm going to get this joke in regardless. And it's not a thing that's exclusive to the new series. It's always been part of Doctor Who, and you always have to kind of, sort of live with it. I mean, Bob Holmes was equally guilty of that as much as anybody else. So. But I do find it pulls you out of things, or it pulls me out of things a little bit more, perhaps.
Yeah, I like it. It's a bit Buffy in a way, because
exactly, and I hated it in Buffy as well. I wasn't a fan of it. It's like, I'm such a clever writer. Look at me. I can work my meta stuff in here, and I just find it
you'd have these
tiresome.
Awful villains, really horrible people. And I remember there was one towards the end of Angel, from the Circle of the Black Thorn. He was in red-faced thing. Can't remember his name. And he killed someone, and then he's been really horrible. And then he says, "Oh, we're going to have to get the wallpaper replaced again." And it was such a sort of humaning, making him a bit more human and enriching the character a bit. I've always found that sort of thing quite. I don't
know. I think I disagree with you, mate. I don't think it enriched the character. I think it just. Well, maybe it did, and maybe I'm just a miserable old git, really. Maybe I just don't get it.
Viewers and listeners, let us know. Is Paul a miserable old git, or is he not?
Well, I am that anyway. Yeah, definitely. But
do you like...
don't get me wrong. I like a bit of fun. It's like this. But there's comedy and there's purely for jokes. Joke for the sake of its own self. And if it fits the script, if it fits the story, the characters, the tone of the whole thing, and then I've got no objection to it at all. And I think with Buffy, to be fair to Buffy, that is part of the tone, and it is part of the way those stories are told. It's Joss Whedon. That's how he writes. He's always done that, and Stephen Moffat does to a degree as well. So you kind of take it on the chin, really. But I think there's just a point that I find it where I just find it more annoying than satisfying. Do you know what I mean? It's like Sherlock was around this sort of time as well, and I think the last series of Sherlock was just, I couldn't watch it because it was just annoying me completely. There was, it wasn't about Sherlock anymore. It was about how clever we are at writing these scripts, and it just annoyed the pants off me at the time. Really did.
I've never watched Sherlock.
It's like, let me just watch the story. I think it started off great. It was a lot of fun, and then I think it just went downhill, to be honest. But because I think it just became about, look how clever our scripts are. That's watch these little references we can put in here and see how we can sort of mess around with old times and new times and actually cheat our audience as well at the same time. Anyways, back to the story in hand, the Snowmen. So we talked right through a brilliant little face-off there with Richard E. Grant, didn't we, again?
And now the Doctor's just...
And now he's got... So does he fancy Clara at this point, do you think? Has he got the hots for her a little bit?
I think he was always... Look, just tell her you're leaving, you're not going to... He always... I think he was...
Yeah.
Look at him, what an idiot. He was interested in her because of the plucky plucky personality.
Because of the mystery around her, I think.
Well, yeah, and then it became about the mystery, and I think that did he fancy her? I don't know. I mean, I think that the 12th Doctor, I think they loved each other, but I don't think it was romantic at all. I think it was a very mutual respect sort of
platonic
thing.
Was it?
That because there's been quite a bit of debate over the 11th Doctor line of Clara as an enigma wrapped in a skirt or whatever, mini skirt thing. Do you remember that bit? And it's a bit sort of like quite sort of out of character in a way. To know, I don't. I think he was probably again attracted to her, but not in a romantic way. More, I think
not sexually.
No, I think the Doctor kind of goes more for brains and stuff, really.
Oh,
and what do you think?
I don't know. I kind of got the impression that he sort of did find her somewhat attractive, and maybe not just because of the brains.
I think I'm a bit behind you. I've just seen
Ice
the
Lady.
Ice Lady. Yeah.
Reminds
me a bit of the Crystal Lady thing at the Twice Upon Time, the memory thing. Viewers and listeners, let us know if you think the Doctor fancied Clara. Any edition of.
He totally fancied her. He really did. We got Punch and Judy acting it all out. How many times have we had the words Doctor Who on here? It's at least twice, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Moffat would use
starting
that
to
quite
pre-credits.
A lot,
We've got it here. Actually, we might have done it. Yeah, and again, it just got a bit much for me, mate. To be honest, this isn't my favourite period in the series. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
I do enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it, but I just get irritated by a lot of it. But I'll watch it and I'll still love it. It's that weird kind of conflict in my head. I'd pull a thing apart, but I still really enjoy it.
That's
because I'd still rather watch this than pretty much any other thing on telly.
That's a pretty good snow machine that Richard E. Grant's got there.
Yeah.
Talking of
it's like a
Clara,
bubble thing, isn't it? But
yeah. If anyone hasn't read the DWM comic of what's Blood and Ice, I think it's called. Let me just look it up. What was it called?
What was it called, Geoff? The listeners demand to know. Bow ties are cool.
Really slow. It's in the collection called The Eye of Torment, and it's. Let me see. There's a couple of there's an Echo story in it. It's really good.
Oh, I see.
My internet's going terrible right now. I'm on the Wi-Fi, and it's not liking trying to stream two lots of video right now. I'm at the back of the house. Just a beast.
Oh, snowmen everywhere. What do you think of these snowmen, Geoff? Do you like the look of them? The sort of monstrous
I think they look cool,
teeth and everything else. They do look good.
When which show would it have been? Must have been the 50th anniversary event. They had one of the snowmen there in the prop section.
Oh, okay.
I'm a lizard woman from the dawn of time.
So now they're all in the house, aren't they? All the Paternoster Gang. They're all there with their veils off, their faces revealed, and the guy's Daddy's a little bit sort of taken aback by all this activity in his house, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
he's like, what the blazes?
He says, you have a gentleman friend. Yeah, obviously he's a bit disappointed to think that Clara has someone else. Now it's
she's quite good, the Ice Lady, the Ice Governess.
Yeah,
it just gives them something to fight at the end, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah.
A monster, if you like.
What you mentioned the Power of Three earlier. It's a good episode. I really enjoy that, but it's quite infamous for the messy ending to it. I'd love to know more about what happened on that, and so I think Chibnall had to rewrite at a bit of an emergency pace because the actor,
I can't remember how it ended.
No, I can't remember either, but it's very sudden, I think. And supposedly the guest actor wouldn't cooperate, wouldn't read his lines, and only did one take on stuff, and it didn't
basically
work, apparently.
Didn't do the job that you employed them for. I know what I do there, mate.
Yeah, rewrite in a hurry.
So, that's an answer to that. You don't want to do what I'm going to pay you for, then I'm not going to pay you.
Yeah, do you know? I think that's the thing,
Not being funny, but it's your job, isn't it? If you're an actor, that's what you're paid to do.
Yeah. And
you can't start getting arsey.
Oh, I'm not sure my character would say this line if you've been doing it, playing the role for a long time or something. You kind of, at that point, I think it becomes a bit of a mutual creator and ownership thing of the character.
Yeah, they might have a point with things like that, but at the end of the day, the script
it's still
is the
down
script.
to the right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you get brought in,
and if you don't like it,
don't do it in the first place.
Exactly. That's my thoughts on that, mate.
Matt Smith's
he's got his game face on now, hasn't he? The Doctor
face is pretty good there. Yeah. Yeah.
He's got his war face on. Oh, out comes a Sonic. That'll sort it out.
I can't remember when he finds out that it's the Great Intelligence.
I think we've kind of been past that bit. I think we might have talked over it.
Maybe we did, yeah.
But again, it's kind of revealed piecemeal, isn't it? So
yeah,
we see the clues, and then finally we're kind of told.
See, she's leading him here, and he doesn't like it, does he?
Yeah.
They're quite they're quite quick together, aren't they?
Yeah.
Paul's not a big fan of this one. You might be able to tell.
No, I don't. I love the story, mate. I just think there's so much contrivance. I think that's the thing. It always strikes me as a really contrived script and a contrived performance from all of them, but particularly from Jenna Coleman. I like it. I do. It's just difficult to take it seriously. I think that's the thing. It's very clever. It's very witty. They play to the scripts and they're brilliant at it. But I think it's one of those stories that takes me away from the fiction, so I can't enjoy the story as much as I'd like to. Right. And it makes me aware of the artifice of it all. It makes me very aware that there's somebody sitting down at a PC writing this script, chuckling away at themselves, and a bunch of actors and a bunch of crew pointing cameras and doing things, and having a whale of a time. But it pulls me, you know what I mean? It just pulls me out of the story every time I watch it, and but I like the story. So the story always wins out in the end, despite my grievances. This is the reveal, isn't it?
Yeah.
The new console room, back to a sort of technological, spaceshipy kind of setup, as opposed to a brass submarine.
Yeah, I preferred this interior.
I prefer it when the 12th Doctor gets hold of it, and then it has bookshelves and things. It looks a little bit cold right here, which I guess is probably the idea, because the Doctor's been kind of he's just been sitting around, hasn't he? Sort of in a glum. He's been a bit of a mood.
Yes.
So he's sat up here mourning the loss of Amy and Rory, deciding he's not going to get involved again, and the TARDIS has redecorated around him or something, or he's done it, but without any sort of life or soul or warmth. Until Clara comes along, of course, and fills it with exactly that.
Yes.
Soufflés.
Small on the outside.
What did you say? Now he's twigged, doesn't he? Soufflés.
Yes. Yeah, I did like this. So,
this is quite fun. I think this is when he really becomes properly engaged with her, because he didn't actually meet her in Asylum of the Daleks as such, did he?
No.
So he doesn't know what Oswin Oswald looked like.
No, that's true.
I don't think. Did he?
No,
I don't think he does. Well, we do. So we recognise it's the same person, or is it? So we're as kind of confused and intrigued, but even more so than the Doctor, I think, because we're like, well, who is this person now? We've already seen her; she was a Dalek, and now she's a 19th century barmaid / governess teacher.
And it had been announced that Jenna was appearing in the show, but it wasn't supposed to be till this one, and then she appeared in Asylum of the Daleks early, which is still brilliant that they kept that under wraps. It kicks off the mystery.
The ice thing has got hold of her. Yeah. Oh, and this is the tragic moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ice monster falls. Clara falls. No, Clara. It's so sad. Thud. Oh dear.
And for the Doctor, obviously,
and this was quite a dark ending.
Yeah.
Sorry, what are you saying? Doctor's lost.
Well, he just lost Amy and Rory, didn't he, in the other one?
Yeah. True. Yeah. And now he's lost his new best friend as well.
Yeah. Ooh.
And again, this is a Christmas episode, isn't it? And it ends on quite a dark note, and she's sort of stretched out like Ophelia. TARDIS materialises around her. I think we're still kind of hoping that she's still alive or can be brought back to life in some way. Maybe the TARDIS can work some magic. Maybe Strax can do his thing as a nurse and his advanced medical science. But it's not looking good, is it?
And Moffat doesn't like to kill anyone.
Well, he does like to kill them, and then he likes to bring them back.
Yeah.
He likes to have he likes to bake his cake and eat it. What's the saying go? Have your cake and eat it. You want to have your cake and eat it? Well, of course I want to have my cake and eat it. Otherwise, what's the point of having cake if you can't eat it?
You don't make it for decorative purposes. Yeah.
But he does seem to do that, doesn't he? There is a recurring theme of death and resurrection throughout his tenure. Which is fine, because that's what happens to the Doctor all the time. So why should the Doctor be the only one to die and come back again? The thing is, they always come back slightly different.
They do.
Rory came back as an Auton. Did he? Did he come? Did he stay an Auton? Did something happen? Or did that kind of get frittered away by the Big Bang Theory or something?
Possibly. Yeah, he was plastic for a couple of thousand years, wasn't he?
It's like, and then he was a Centurion for centuries, and it's just, do you know what? You just kind of give up following these story threads, because so many of them just went nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating. It's like I love these stories and I love Moffat scripts, but it's just so much of it went round in circles, was there purely for the sake of it, and a lot of it ended up going nowhere at all. But in the meantime, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch a lot of these stories.
I think I might have said this before. I think sometimes that if Who was a 22 episode series each year, like a lot of American shows are.
Yeah.
Everything would be able to be explored in a lot more detail, and you'd see more of the family stuff. Storylines
maybe
would be more,
possibly.
Richer and not necessarily dealt with in a couple of lines of dialogue and stuff. But we don't have.
Are they in those 22 episode series though? Really?
Well,
I think a lot of those 22. A lot of those long series, we just get the same tropes recycled endlessly. Yeah, after a while.
Well, that's true. But what I mean is, if you had that much of a space to work within, you'd be able to do more.
I don't know, mate. I'm not. I think I get where you're coming from, but I'm not entirely sure I agree. Because if you look at it, a lot of the best stuff coming out of, in my opinion, anyway, it's just my opinion, but I think a lot of the stuff which has much more character development, narrative, story development, and everything else is actually from the sort of 10 or 12 episode series. You look at things like Sopranos. I think was only, or was it actually? No, tell a lie. That was more. See, now this tin, right, with the underground on it, that's a definite callback to the Web of Fear.
Yes.
Which is the Doctor's second run-in with the Great Intelligence. We're just being really quiet now watching this ending.
Yeah, sorry, I was just sort of distracted by all of that. Looks like quite a small TARDIS interior now, doesn't it? Compared to the new one.
Yeah.
I like this with those ring lights and the sort of glowing dot in the middle on them, and that the strip and the turning time. There's a lot of activity in it and motion.
There's a lot to look at.
Yeah, and it's quite atmospheric. And here we are back at the Corn Exchange.
Are you still behind me?
Possibly, yeah. They're back at the. I am at 48 minutes in.
You're a whole minute behind me. Let me pause it for a bit here then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So he's talking about London Underground, 1967.
1967. There you go. So that's the Web of Fear, isn't it? That's totally what that is.
The TARDIS looks quite battered here, actually, doesn't it? Which I hadn't really noticed before. Battered, dirty, I should say.
Battered, yeah. It did. Yeah.
Here's something interesting.
Something on it.
Someone had shared some screenshots from that Russell T Davies documentary, and there's a tour in a warehouse at Bad Wolf where they've got loads of props and stuff, and inside there is a 13th Doctor TARDIS that's got the cracks all over it, which were the flux effect on it. Do you remember in Eve of the Daleks? It's all cracked and glowing. I thought it was CGI on there, so I was quite pleased to see a full-size TARDIS with all those cracks and stuff on
effects.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
I mean it was probably enhanced
this is a
flashback kind of glow
to
and stuff. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Flashback to Richard E. Grant's boyhood, making snowmen, and
it's a little bit like
getting kind of lured in by the carnivorous snow meets Victorian values. See, there's great stuff like that in it, and something terrible is born. It's a great line. I love all that. More of that, less of the other stuff. But then other people love the nonsense, so it's a personal thing, really. But that's the great thing about Doctor Who. It can just be whatever the hell it wants to be, and you either take it on its own terms or you don't. It's. Yeah. But you've always got the knowledge that next episode will be totally different. Yeah, it'll be a different story, a different tone, different feel. Oh, look at that! The memory worm is the thing that does him. Sink its little teeth in there into his memories and suck them all out. Suck them all out, mate. That's what he's going to do, innit? I Meanwhile, the snow globe is going crazy. That's still Gandalf's voice, isn't it, in there?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You shall not pass! You shall not pass!
He's got a really recognisable voice, isn't he? Lovely.
Yeah, he does. A great voice. It's brilliant. I love it. More CG snow. More snowmen with big fanged, gaping mouths on them. Yikes. I think Jenny's great. I love Jenny, actually. She's my favourite of the Paternoster Gang.
Is she? Yeah, she's good, yeah.
I think she might be Freya's favourite as well, actually, thinking about it. Yeah.
They've done a lot of audios with them.
Yeah, a lot of Big Finish stuff. Yeah, I haven't got any, actually.
No.
I've never listened to any of those.
Well, as we said before, there's a lot, isn't there? And you can't keep up with all of it.
There's a lot of it. Yeah. Uh-oh. He's got cold. Dr. Simeon. That's his name, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. He's having a ball here, isn't he, Richard E. Grant? He's loving all this.
Yeah, he's someone who gets to do quite a lot of stuff that he blatantly has a lot of fun with. Winter is coming. The show loves a little sort of catchphrase like that, doesn't it? Like "burn with me" and things like that. From too.
Yeah. Yeah, these things that they these things that they want the kids to sort of sing around the playground.
Yeah.
Whether it actually happens or not, I don't know. I should have brought some water up with me. My voice is going.
Oh, there's a biting snowflake again.
Mm-hmm. The snow's melting.
Yeah. Do you know, it does look quite high production values on the show, doesn't it, now, in this episode?
Yep.
You know, it's bearing in mind the show's budget is not what a lot of others have. They do a really good job with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is good. I think they do throw the boat out a bit at Christmas, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, by the time we're
splash out a little bit,
and by the time your people are listening, hopefully, there's going to be another new Christmas episode tomorrow. In fact, there'll be 2 Christmas episodes tomorrow.
Unless you're listening to this a year or so after we put it out there.
Well, in which case you'll still get
it's
a
already
new
been
Christmas
and gone.
episode, because there'll probably be Shooty's second one, and maybe we will have another audio drama. So, or you could just go back and listen to it. In which case, surprise! Yeah. Oh, I saw the Snowmen was.
She gone. It's all becoming ice under the snows as snow runs off.
Yeah.
Everyone's really sad.
Yeah, not least me.
Shocking.
No, people don't. Main characters don't die in the show very often, do they?
Well, they seem to in this program. A lot more than they ever used to, that's for sure.
Yeah, true, in Moffat's time, but then they come back a week later.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what happened here, isn't it? You know, she dies here. We've already seen her die in Asylum of the Daleks.
Yeah.
And she dies again.
And then she's back.
So why? And yet she keeps coming back. Why?
Yeah.
Run, you clever boy.
Clever boy, and remember.
That's the word, isn't it? That's the phrase.
That's her password in It's the Bells of St. John, isn't it? I didn't.
Yeah, that's right. The very next story, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
There we are.
He's looking pretty upset.
He's looking very sad.
Yeah, and like you said, this is quite a
Run, you
downer
clever
of an
boy.
ending for.
It's a total downer. Yeah. Didn't expect it on Christmas Day.
Well, not as downer, but not as dark as Last Christmas.
Oh, that's very dark. Yeah, that's very
I've
grim.
said this before. I still can't believe that went out on Christmas Day.
I
It's
know.
so twisted and confusing, that one.
So I must admit that kind of
episode.
story was a lot more up my street than this. But I think there's always a sort of darkness to the Christmas episodes when you think about it. I think.
Yeah.
What was the one the one we were talking about, the next Doctor, it's a few before this one, wasn't it? The core of that story, with Jackson Lake sort of losing his wife and undergoing this great traumatic journey of grief, and then having his mind, having that journey disrupted by the Cybermen device thing. That's kind of a grim thing in the end of it. The fact he gets to live a life that isn't his and have it taken away from him after all the joy that it sort of brought him. So that's kind of sad in a way.
Clara, Oswin,
and
Oswald.
Oswin Oswald, Souffle Girl. Yeah, that's it. So he remembers her voice now. He thinks, that was her, but he didn't actually see her, did he? And then again, run, you clever boy. That's what he remembers. That becomes the phrase. So now, as viewers watching this for the first time, we're like, well, again, who is she?
Piece it together. Yeah.
What's going on? We need to watch the next episode and find out.
It's a good mystery.
Yeah. Did that not sound convincing?
No.
Sorry. I'm just winding him up, listeners.
What's he?
Clara Oswin Oswald. So Oswin's her middle name.
Remember me.
At least here it is, anyway. So is this Clara an echo then? Is that the thing? Governess barmaid Clara, is she an echo?
Yes,
and there's
I think
the real
I think
Clara.
this is the main Clara.
The main Clara.
And when she jumps in the time stream at the end, she gets splintered across all the time and space, creating Barmaid and Oswin and blah, blah, blah.
Oswin was a splinter as well.
Yeah.
And, of course, another one was there right at the start of the first Doctor's journey when he stole the TARDIS. Yep. Don't take that one. Take this one instead. It's knackered, but you'll love it. Ugh. Or whatever it was she said, something nonsense like that.
Well, all of that goes to show how important Clara is as a companion to the Doctor.
Or does it show how much light was made of a significant moment in the Doctor's life?
No. Little.
I don't know. I just think a lot of it is a little bit cheap. To be honest, I think it's. I don't know, mate. I know we're never going to agree on this, and I know you love Clara a lot, but I'm just, and I love Jenna Coleman. I just don't like the character that much. She's probably one of my least favourite of the modern companions.
Well, this was nice.
It was nice knowing you.
Nice. Yeah,
oh dear. No, she's all right. She's a lot of fun. I mean, it is. She is something different. She is something different, and I think what I do like about Clara is that. Well, it's probably the same with Amy, actually. With Russell T Davies, the great thing about Rose was she had a family. For like the first time in all of Doctor Who, we had a companion who had a family, and there were consequences and everything else. But then as that kind of went on, that family became a little bit more of a caricature to my mind, and it kind of just got a little bit sort of tiresome. And he's gone again. Where have you gone?
I'm here.
So unprofessional.
You see me?
Oh, you are there? No, you've disappeared. No, not at all. You completely buzzed off.
Am I? Can you see me now?
Anyway, whatever. So the good thing about Clara was the fact she didn't have a family. We didn't have any of that soap opera stuff going on. It was a sci-fi fantasy mystery that was quite intriguing at the time.
Well, I really enjoyed rewatching that, and as you know, anyone who listens or watches regularly will know I'm a big Clara fan. I do think that
He's a big Clara fan.
I am a big Clara fan. I do think she came more into her own with Capaldi, and the character became more kind of fleshed out and enriched. So she's great fun in this series 7, but 8 and 9 are where she really shines for me. And a lot of other people. So any other Clara fans watching, listening, I need to know that you're out there. So leave a comment, let me know. So that's it for this Christmas Eve episode, our commentary. We're going to play a little trailer for our Christmas Day audio drama. So if you're...
that's a lot of fun! Enjoy that!
Yeah, it's 20 minutes long, so should pass some time.
What, the trailer?
Whilst you're waiting. No, the actual episode itself. So if you've got
it is.
half an hour spare between finishing your Christmas lunch and Shooty starting on TV, won't fire up our audio drama and enjoy that. And we'll be back very soon with a review of The Church on Ruby Road. So we will see you next time.
Yes, we haven't seen it yet.
We have not seen it yet.
It's going to be exciting.
So we'll see you next time on Ho 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 Corner to Corner.
Ho, 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 corner to corner. Ta-ta for now, TTFN.
TTFN.
I'm the doctor. I'm here to fix Christmas.
Hello, I'm Yaz.
I'm Dan. Nice to meet you.
Me and my mates, we travel the universe, sorting out fair play and putting a stop to those on the naughty list. And we're here to help you. We got a distress signal that alerted us to a problem here. I say here, I do mean your house, but I also mean here in the UK. Well, the world actually. Something's going on and it's not nice.
So what happened before we got here?
Well, I came downstairs hoping to see Santa Claus, and I found his elves at our Christmas tree, but I'm not really sure it was really his elves. They looked horrible, all small and grey and weird looking. They were stealing the presents underneath our Christmas tree. Santa will be so cross when he finds out they're gone.
I've got a trace on the tech, and with my shiny goggles we can see where they've been and have a good guess at where they're going to go. Then we can lay a little surprise for them and get this all resolved.
What are we going to do, Doctor?
We're going to wrap the greatest present in the universe.